Hello, this is Rajesh Anand saying namaste, hello to everyone. And today we will talk about the Formula 44 and Formula 21 on this International Yoga Day, 21st June. We had an hour program online, and thanks to all of you who participated and attempted to learn the techniques of Formula 44 and Formula 21, which are very simplistic but extremely effective. We are all extremely busy in our day-to-day life, but then we need to maintain a work-life balance. So how do we maintain a work-life balance? Based on the teachings of Swami Mukundananda, a great yogi, a great expert in yoga, a great expert in wellness, a great expert in spirituality. Words fail me to describe this IIT, IIM alumnus turned yogi and an expert in mind management, preaching all over the world for the last 35 years. So whatever little I'll attempt to share as a student of JK Yoga practices, first of all, my humble obeisances to Swami Mukundananda. So let us straight away come to the Formula 44. Formula 44 is a simple daily regimen which we decided to practice regularly. There are 8 elements in Formula 44. The 4 elements relate to food and the 4 elements relate to exercises. The food elements are very simple. We resolve to eat 1 fistful of nuts, 2 helpings of fruits, and 4 helpings of food which is predominantly containing grains, vegetables, pulses, beans, that group of food. So these are the 3 elements of the food habits. Very simple. 1 fistful of nuts, 2 helpings of fruits, and 4 helpings of the meal, lunch and dinner, which should contain green vegetables, cooked vegetables, salads, grains, pulses, beans, lentils. And on top of these 3 elements, we add another element which is the water therapy. So we drink 2 to 3 glasses of water every morning when we wake up. So on an empty stomach, when you drink 2-3 glasses of warm water in a sitting position, slowly over a period of 30 minutes to 45 minutes, it does wonder to your system. You can get rid of so many afflictions of the body just by following diligently the water therapy. 2-3 glasses of warm water or lukewarm water every morning on an empty stomach. And please make sure that you don't eat anything, drink anything after the water therapy for at least half an hour. So the food elements of Formula 44 are so simple. What is there in eating 1 fistful of nuts? Eat a few almonds every morning, eat a few walnuts every late afternoon. You have completed 1 element. Eat 1 banana in the morning, eat 1 guava in the late afternoon, or any other fruits. You have completed the 2nd element. Eat helpings of fruits, helpings of vegetables, grains, lentils, beans, etc., and you have completed the 3rd element. Drink 2-3 glasses of lukewarm and warm water, and you have completed the water therapy. So the 4 elements of the food are so simple to follow. The next, the 4 elements of exercises. Out of these 4 elements of exercises, the 3 elements are very simple. You have to do 2 rounds of walking. We all walk, so please let us ensure that we walk about 10-15 kilometers every day. Whether we are very fond of walking in the office itself, we don't sit on the chair all the time, we keep walking, or we take a stroll in the morning, a stroll in the afternoon, in the evening, we should walk about 10-15 kilometers every day. So this is called 2 rounds of walking. Then there is the 3 rounds of breathing techniques. So we are all aware about the wonderful breathing techniques called Bhastrika, bellows breathing, Anulom Vilom, alternate nostril breathing, Brahmari, the bumblebee breathing, Kapalbhati, the glow on the forehead breathing, and so many other breathing techniques like Ujjayi, Udgit, etc. So, 2 rounds of walking, 3 rounds of breathing techniques, pranayam, and we recommend at least we do 4 rounds of Surya Namaskar every day. So, in 1 round, you can do 2 or 3 or 4 times. If you do Surya Namaskar every day, you are doing many yogasanas. Now, when we say 4 rounds of Surya Namaskar, that doesn't mean you just restrict to Surya Namaskar, that is the minimum. You can do other yogasanas like Tadasana, like Tiryak Tadasana, the palm tree posture. You can do Ardha Matsyendra Yasana, which is the half of the Lord of the Fish pose, good for the spinal twist. You can do the supine posture and the prone posture and the standing postures and the sitting postures like Shalabhasana, the locust pose, Bhujangasana, the cobra pose, the bow pose, Dhanurasana. Then we can do Pavan Muktasana, the wind releasing pose, Naukasana, the boat pose. We can do the cycling. So, the fourth element is about the yogasanas. The third element is about the pranayam. And the second element is about the walking. Now, the first element, 1 hour of meditation, is about mind management. And according to Swami Mukundananda, according to the experts, and most importantly, according to Bhagavad Gita, this is the most important aspect of our life. Whether we are understanding the functioning of mind, whether we have learned to harmonize our mind to suit our nature, to result in a work-life balance, to result ultimately in joy, peace, abundance of joy, abundance of happiness, abundance of peace, abundance of knowledge, abundance of eternality. That is the goal of yoga. The union with the super consciousness, the universal consciousness. We have the individual consciousness and then there is the universal consciousness. So the universal consciousness, we call him as God, as Allah, as Paramatma, as Brahma, as Shiv, as Ram, as Krishna, as Ahur Mazda, as Sat Sri Akal, as Alakh Niranjan, as Shunya, as Buddha. So many names we ascribe to this universal consciousness which is there in the universe. It is there for us to see that the sun is rising every morning, the moon is appearing in the sky, the wind is blowing, there is an ocean, there are mountains, there are trees, there are plants, there are butterflies, there are birds, there are animals. No human beings are alike. Every human being has a different face, a different fingerprints, a different order. Even the body order is different. Voice. So, it appears there is a factory, a universal factory where all this is happening. The scriptures call this super universal consciousness to be the absolute truth, the absolute reality. And we, the souls, are a part of that universal consciousness. For example, there is an ocean and there are waves. So waves are we, the individual souls, and the ocean is the universal consciousness. Like there is fragrance in the flower, so we are the individual fragrances, and then there is this flower. For example, there is the sun and the sun rays. So the sun rays are the energy of the sun, and the sun is the energetic. Similarly, this universal consciousness is the energetic, the God is the energetic, and we, the souls, Jivatma, are the energies. So our individual consciousness, if we unite with the universal consciousness, that is yoga. If we harmonize our universal consciousness with the divine consciousness, is yoga. So this is the most important aspect. So how do we go about it? We have to learn about the nature of the soul. So as we learned, the soul is like the sun rays, and God is like the sun. The soul is like the fragrance. The soul is like the whiteness, and God is like the milk. God is like the flower. Tailam tileshu kasteshu vahni chire ghritam yatha gandha pushpeshu. This is from the first mantra Vasudeva Upanishad, which we learned from Sri Maharaj Ji, that like there is the oil in the sesame seed. We don't see the oil, but the oil is there in the sesame seed. When you grind, the oil emerges. Like there is fire in the wood, in the stone. When you rub the dry wood, the fire emerges. The fire was not visible, but when we rubbed, it emerged. Like the fragrance is there in the flower, like the whiteness is there in the milk, like the ghee is there in the milk, but it is not manifest until we process. So we first need to learn about the soul, then we need to learn about the body. There are 3 types of bodies. The gross body, made up of Chit, Jal, Pavak, Gagan, Samir, earth, water, fire, air and space. Then there is subtle body. Subtle body consists of Sukshma Sharir, consists of 18 elements. Panch Karmendriya, 5 action senses. Panch Jnanendriya, 5 knowledge senses. Panch Pran, Pran, Apan, Udan, Vyan, Saman, 5 life air. And Man, Buddhi and Ahankar, mind, intellect and ego. This constitutes the subtle body. It is there within us, but we don't see it, but we can feel. So when we do yoga, we have to learn about what is pran, because when we do pranayam, we are expanding our life here. Because what is happening is the mind plays the game. If the mind is in a joyful state, it affects the prana. The prana is in a joyful state, and the prana affects the cells of the body. The cells are in a joyful state. If the mind is disturbed, stressed, it affects the prana. Prana affects the body. That is why it is so important to control the mind, to manage the mind. And that's what Bhagavad Gita is telling in so many verses. Chapter 6, it says, Uddared Atmanatmanam, na Atmanam avasadayet. Atmaiva hyatmano, bandhuratmaiva ripuratmana. The mind is our greatest friend and the mind is our worst enemy. We have the independence, the free will to manage our mind. Similarly, when Arjuna is telling Sri Krishna that mind is so difficult to control, chanchalam hi manah krishnam pramathi balvadridam tashyaham nigraham manye vayoriva sudushkaram. Krishna is advising Arjuna, it is true, the mind is very difficult to control, but he gives a solution. Ashanshayam mahabaho mano durnigraham chalam abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena chagriyate. Though it is so difficult to control, we can control by the 2 methods, detachment from the material desires and practice abhyas. Why detachment from the material desires? Because we become completely consumed by the material wants, and that's the cause for our stress. If we don't get stressed, we can use the material objects for our ultimate benefit. We should use the material and not get consumed by it. That is what it means by detachment. Detachment doesn't mean you discard the material world. You live in the world, like the boat is in the water, but the water is not in the boat. Don't let material come and disturb you, take away your peace and joy. That's the meaning of detachment, which is possible by the abhyas. And finally, the ultimate message of Bhagavad Gita, tasmat sarveshu kaleshu ma manushmar yuddhyacha. All this is possible if we meditate and fix our mind on the divine. So we practice for 1 hour every day the meditation. And that 1 hour of meditation we can achieve by using the formula 21, wherein we begin by 21 seconds. We first meditate for 21 seconds and become such an expert that for 21 seconds we never let the material come and disturb us. We are in control, and then we take 21 seconds to 21 minutes, 21 minutes to 21 hours, which is like we have controlled our mind for a day. And if we do it for 21 days, then it becomes a habit. The channels get formed in the mind, the neuroplasticity, etc. So that is, in a nutshell, the formula 44, the 8 elements: 1 hour of meditation, 2 rounds of walking, 3 rounds of breathing techniques, 4 rounds of sun salutation, Surya Namaskar, 1 fistful of nuts, 2 helpings of fruits, 2-3 glasses of lukewarm warm water in the morning, and 4 helpings of grain, lentils, pulses, beans, vegetable salads every day in lunch and dinner together. So that, in a nutshell, is the daily regimen as taught to us by Swami ji, and let us make an attempt to implement it. See you soon.